Hi, welcome to this episode of Millennial Pocket. Today we're going to be looking at the history of Twitter. Twitter is a microblogging and social networking service on which users post and interact with messages, and it is still among the leading social networks worldwide. In 2020, the social network's audience size was 314.9 million monthly active users worldwide, and was projected to keep increasing up to over 340 million users by 2024. But how did it become one of the most successful social media in the world? Let's take a look. In 2005, Noah Glass had a product where you called a phone number and it would turn your message into an MP3 hosted on the internet. That was the technology that Glass brought that turned into audio. One of Glass's earliest investors in audio was a former Google employee named Evan Williams, who had recently sold a company called Blogger to Google. Soon after, audio moved into an office and started hiring more employees. Evan Williams became the new CEO, and by July 2005, the company became a platform for podcasting. Despite the hype surrounding audio, the platform gained little attention. The company hit rock bottom once Apple announced in 2005 that they would include podcasting in their streaming service called iTunes. Desperate to pivot from an untenable situation, Williams decided audio's future wasn't in podcasting, and later that year, he told the company's employees to start coming up with ideas for a new direction audio could go. Jack Dorsey, one of the engineers who were working at audio at that time, introduced the idea of users using an SMS service to communicate with a small group. Groups of friends could keep tabs on what each other were doing based on their status updates. At that time, a popular trend, sometimes to gain a domain name advantage, was to drop vowels in the name of their companies and services. Glass is credited with coming up with the original name TWTTR with no vowels, as well as its final incarnation as Twitter. Work on the project started on March 21, 2006, when Dorsey published the first Twitter message, at "Just setting up my Twitter." In July of that year, audio employees obsessed with Twitter were racking up monthly SMS bills totaling hundreds of dollars, and by that fall, the new project had thousands of users. In September 2006, Audio CEO Evan Williams, with the support of Dorsey, wrote a letter to Audio's investors, where he told them that the company was going nowhere and that he would like to buy back their shares so they wouldn't take a loss. By doing that, he acquired the rights to the Twitter platform, and it's still questionable whether audio investors knew the full scope of the Twitter platform. Also, key members of the development team weren't brought on to the new company, most notably Noah Glass, who got fired. The 2007 South by Southwest Interactive Conference saw a huge explosion of Twitter usage. More than 60,000 tweets were sent per day at the event. The Twitter team had a huge presence at the event and took advantage of the viral nature of the conference and its attendees. Twitter employees cleverly placed two 60-inch plasma screens in the conference hallways, exclusively streaming Twitter messages, and additionally, the company also won Best Startup at the conference, making its first crack into mainstream recognition. In April 2007, Twitter officially became its own company. Williams chose Dorsey as its CEO, and 2 months later the company held its first round of fundraising, raising $5 million and receiving a valuation of $20 million. In its early days, 140 characters was the limit that mobile carriers imposed with the SMS protocol standard. But as Twitter eventually grew into a web platform, the 140 character limit remained as a matter of branding. In 2007, Twitter also added an option for users to search for hashtags, started by user Chris Messina, with the hashtag #SanDiegoFire. While some users simply wanted to brag on social media, Others were using the versatile tool for change. #NeverAgain, #MeToo, and #Black Lives Matter. Movements have gained incredible momentum thanks to their hashtags. In April 2009, with frustration over unaddressed server failures, Twitter's shareholders removed Dorsey as CEO, replacing him with Williams. In April 2010, the company announced the use of promoted tweets for advertising. The new ad program started posting sponsored tweets at the top of users' search results, based on the context of their search terms. These sponsored search results, which were similar in some ways to Google's AdSense program, were just the first step in Twitter's new advertising plans, creating its first clear avenue for consistent profitability. That same year, following a series of meetings with Jack Dorsey, the board removed Evan Williams as CEO, replacing him with Dick Costolo under the assumption that Dorsey will eventually take his place. In 2011, the company reached 100 million users and redesigned its profile and timeline, adding 3 new features. Home, which displayed a stream of tweets from accounts users chose to follow. Connect, which aimed at helping users figure out which accounts to follow based on each user's data. And lastly, Discover, which showed users what topics were trending or most popular within their network. On October 5, 2012, Twitter acquired a video clip company called Vine, which allowed users to create and share 6-second looping video clips, which later on Twitter decided to shut down in 2016. In November 2013, Twitter went public at $26 a share, raising about $1.8 billion through the sale of 70 million shares. 2 years later, Costolo resigned as the CEO of the company, caused by unprofitable years, and Dorsey took over as the new CEO. Under Dorsey, Twitter released new features like Moments, replaced later by Explore tab, which were curated stories about what was happening around the world. In 2017, Twitter decided that the 140 character limit was no longer relevant in the smartphone age, and it increased the tweet limit to 280 characters. In 2020, Twitter released Fleets, a disappearing messaging feature similar to Snapchat and Instagram stories. The company's goal with the new feature was to reduce the pressure around tweeting by letting users express more casual thoughts and feelings, while also concerning themselves less with saying something profound or racking up likes and retweets. In 2021, the company launched Spaces, a feature that allows users to join virtual rooms where they can engage in real-time audio conversations with others. The new feature will play a key role in Twitter's ambitious goal to grow its daily active user base to 315 million by the end of 2023. Twitter is working on Blue Sky, a project focused on creating an open and decentralized standard for social media that could help the site better combat online abuse and misinformation. The social network also began testing a forum called Birdwatch that lets users spot misleading tweets and weigh in on why they think the information is wrong. Twitter can also become a place for recruiting, noting that people are using the site to find others they want to work with or to share interests. The company has been looking at new ways to generate revenue outside of advertising. That includes ideas like charging a subscription fee for services such as TweetDeck, a dashboard for scheduling tweets and managing multiple accounts, and also charging for exclusive content or ad-free feeds. What do you think about Twitter? Do you use it? Is it going to be more relevant in the future? Would you invest in it? Please let me know in the comments section below. Leave a like if you got some value from this video, and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this. Feel free to follow us on Instagram, we post every day there. I hope you really enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching guys. Until next time.